Chairman's message.
Dear stakeholders, years of commitment to integrating sustainability coupled with digitalization of critical workflows enabled Thalwakkality Estates plc to record an exceptional performance in 2021-22, with group post-tax earnings of Rs 817 million, the highest profit since inception. All our 8 estates are amongst the 15 best estate rankings, while 6 of them clinched top 10 rankings for high-grown tea prices, reflecting the quality of our teas and the value delivered to customers. The scores received for the Great Place to Work certification were equally important, affirming the holistic nature of the group's achievement as we increase the value delivered to our employees, at the same time upholding their rights and uplifting their lives through continuous structured programs. These milestones were achieved during a grim period for the plantation sector in the country, as they needed to manage the impacts of a prolonged pandemic for a largely residential workforce and their families, while also overcoming the ill-advised ban on fertilizer and agrochemicals. The results speak volumes about the capabilities and dedication of the team and the inspired leadership of the managing director. Socio-economic relevance of tea. Tea was the second highest export for Sri Lanka in 2021, with earnings of $1.3 billion. The estate sector accounts for over 418,000 jobs, of which the major part of is in tea estates. Moreover, it is a product that showcases Sri Lanka's commitment to quality and is served at the most prestigious venues in the world as best of the best. Additionally, the panoramic views of the lush green plantations that are a popular stop on most tours. Over the last decade, extensive work has been undertaken to integrate sustainability principles and drive progress on meeting targets of the Sustainability Development Goals by the sector, which are benchmarked to global standards as affirmed by the international social and environmental certifications. Over 83% of its employees reside on the estates, which were taken over by the regional plantation companies in 1992. The colonial legacy housing is being gradually upgraded in regional plantation companies in partnership with the state and the Plantation Housing Development Authority. The ranking of the Thalwakkality Estates by Great Place to Work as the second in Asia affirms the progress made to uplift the lives of our employees who are resident on the estate. Considerable work has also been done to preserve the biodiversity, minimize the impact on rivers that run through the plantations, reduce emissions, improve the soil structure, and minimize our environment footprint in other ways. The collective agreements in place were scrapped by the trade unions as they wanted to align with the wages board structures. Employees have better benefits under the present scheme as the money goes directly to the associates who are able to earn significantly more. However, the national unions are now requesting to revert to the collective agreements, and the outcome of this will have a key impact on both the associates and the plantations, with the workers likely to be the losers of the proposed arrangements. Steering to the rapids. Tea prices, which were stable throughout the first 3 quarters, edged upwards in the fourth quarter to an all-time high of Rs 848 per kg. The steep climb commencing is at the latter part of March into April 2022 reached 1,333.61 per kg, reflecting both the increased demand as well as the devaluation of the rupee. Our long-standing commitment to quality continues to be the critical factor for benefiting from this trend, as envisaged by the performance of our estate marks at the tea auctions. Favorable weather patterns were also a key factor for the improved yields and quality, thus obtaining better prices at auctions. The year commenced with a wave of pandemic followed by another wave in the third quarter, with significant challenges for the estate community. Listening to and engaging with employees were a key, and corporate management initiated several measures to ensure that employee health, safety and well-being were given priority. We strengthened the COVID protocols implemented in 2020 and was one of the first companies to get their employees vaccinated, working together with health authorities. Care packages were put together for employees who were affected, and we are happy to say that we had no deaths due to COVID on our estates. Government policy on agriculture had a significant adverse impact on the agriculture sector, with the ban on imports of fertilizer and agrochemicals that are necessary to drive yields and productivity. and we were compelled to use manual labor to compensate for weedicides. Accordingly, employees were paid for uprooting of weeds which were weighed and used to make vermicompost, although the efficiency was insufficient to optimize yields. While policy interest rates of the central bank increased by 7% in April 2022, the impact is minimal due to the low level of borrowing by the group, as we adopt a cautious approach to debt financing due to the volatility in the sector and the need to build financial resilience. However, the industry as a whole will be impacted, and this could be detrimental to the dynamics of the industry at a time of elevated uncertainties. People-driven. Listening to our people and addressing their concerns was critical to delivering performance. Corporate management conducted meetings with field officers throughout the year, communicating a single clear message. This enabled us to pick up on issues early and build up stock to ensure there was sufficient for our operations. Importantly, employees shared the increased value added as amount distributed to employees increased from 2.41 billion to rupees 2.715 billion with increased incentives and bonuses. Thalawakale Estates PLC has been at the forefront of driving change with its program, A Home for Every Plantation Worker. This program encompasses housing, water, sanitation, maternal and child health, child care, nutrition, education for resident children, financial literacy, and women empowerment, among others that are yielding results. We have continuously invested in training of our employees. This year, our training programs were certified under the National Vocational Qualification Framework and awarded 11 employees with certificates. This allows employees to obtain certification for the training undertaken with the group, facilitating lifelong learning and mobility in the plantation sector. Maintaining momentum. Tea, rubber and hydropower segments delivered revenue growth of 5% to record 4.7 billion, supported by favorable weather patterns and a coordinated response to the pandemic. This was commendable as productivity was around 40 to 60% due to the agrochemicals ban and the business disruptions. Cost awareness supported lean cost profiles and finance costs remained more or less in line with the previous year. Accordingly, group net profits increased by 15% to 817 million during the year, which was largely attributable to the improved revenue and margins as well as a positive change in the fair value of biological assets. Total group assets increased by 11% during the year to 6.551 billion due to continued investments in the plantations and the relocation of the Kiruvanaganga factory, which will be, once completed, a state-of-the-art factory. Growth was funded through equity, maintaining a conservative approach to financing to remain stable through volatility. Group return on equity declined marginally as equity increased due to revenue reserves increasing by 24% to 3.9 billion. Debt to equity also improved, rounding up a stellar performance by TTE. The performance during the year enabled us to declare a dividend of 65 cents per share to shareholders. The board recommends a further dividend of rupees 5 per share as a final dividend. The share price in the Colombo Stock Exchange moved up and down during the year, reaching a high of rupees 79 and a low of rupees 37.50 to close the year at rupees 42.60. Outlook. Since the year end, the economic outlook for the country has dimmed significantly. However, it is necessary to remember the resilience of the country and its people, as we have recovered from many challenges in recent history, from the tsunami to civil war. We are optimistic that the country will be set on a path to recovery, even if the timing remains uncertain at present. Thalawakale Tea Estates will continue to focus on growth agribusiness, Thalawakale Tea Estates will continue to focus on growth agribusiness through 7 key strategies, namely revenue maximization, optimum yield, cost efficiency, quality focus, smart precision agribusiness management, regenerative agriculture, and leadership engagement. The Great Estate to Work initiative has identified 10 areas for improvement, and we are in the process of implementing them. Tea has been there for 150 years and will continue for another 100 plus. We will continue our strategy to mechanization of the plantation, but will not mechanize the harvesting of tea as it impacts quality. We will also continue to use outgrowers to increase the production quantity. Hydropower will be a key area of focus. Tea prices are expected to stay around current levels, perhaps stabilizing over the next 3 months. Appreciations. Delivering a holistic performance as set out above is indeed an achievement, and I congratulate Dr. Roshan Rajadure and his team for their hard work amidst unprecedented challenges, both personally and at work. I thank our brokers for their insights and the effective marketing of our teas. I place on record my appreciation of the cooperation of the Government of Sri Lanka on numerous occasions. I conclude by thanking all the shareholders who have shared our journey and look forward to their support in the year ahead as well. Mohan Panditage, Chairman, Talabakale Tea Estates PLC.